of my life, right? So I wanted it to be real. This is my dad, my mom convinced that the Jesus man loves them a lot, and they were convinced enough that it was the deal that, you know what, we are morally obligated to share this with the world, so let's start a church, right? So I basically went to church 7 days a week for my whole life until junior high school time, right? But I was like, why am I not experiencing the mojo? What's wrong with me, right? Classic victim blaming. It's like, oh yeah, the spirit healing didn't work because you didn't believe it enough, and that's why you're fucked. And it's like, what a brutal mind fuck to pull on somebody. Mm-hmm. So I'd always wanted it to be real. I wondered why I wasn't like everybody else, evidently, until I realized, oh, okay, it's all fucking magic tricks. So that's the weird kind of dichotomy, is that magicians who can do magic know it's not real, but it's the only real magic possible. But real magic isn't possible, and the people who think they can do it don't know they're not. Right? It's just
I was going to say the biggest magician of all time was Jesus.
I'm going to argue with you because I totally put the ball on the other side of the room, and then the ball was there. So, like, I mean, I did real magic. What?
How destructive do you want this conversation to get?
Oh, dumpster fire.
Do you want to preserve the gossamer thin mystery of the ball and vase, or
no? Let's fuck it up.
Okay, because I mean, you put that ball over there, and there is a something in that vase.
Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Vase. Oh, hold on. I don't want to drop the things. Hold on. Let's set up a barrier here. Vase.
Right.
Mm-hmm. What kind of flowers do you put in that?
Shit. I can't figure out how the fucking camera works. Vase, empty vase.
Right.
What kind of flower? It's very small.
This is fantastic.
Lid.
Yes.
Empty lid.
Empty lid.
Except empty lid.
Right.
There's a shell.
Oh.
See?
That's dirty.
Yeah.
That's dirty.
Now you went and done did it.
The ball and the shell.
That's funny. So does that ball actually not come out of that shell lid?
Yeah, no, this doesn't come out.
It's a single piece of plastic that's painted.
Yeah, see, it looks like it's the inside. But then the ball goes in the vase, the shell goes on the ball, and the lid goes on the shell.
That you didn't point out what the vase looks like.
Oh, yeah, I did that off air.
Yeah.
It's not a butt plug. It's a magic trick.
Right. Yeah, we're not that kind of show.
You probably don't know this, and maybe some of the people in the chat don't know this, but my very first YouTube video was about an item called, well, it was a Jehovah's Witness video to start.
Oh, no.
But then it ended and it was about the baby Jesus butt plug and jackhammer Jesus, which is a giant Jesus dildo. So yeah. That was my first YouTube.
Enormous.
I remember that video. That's why I became a patron. That's why I became a patron.
That's why you became a patron, because of baby Jesus butt plug.
I have to say, sadly, this is probably we've probably had more episodes of you and I together, Casey, where a sex toy has made an appearance than not. Last week it was the beer opener. You know, that just kind of came out of nowhere.
I think that was 2 weeks ago. Wasn't that?
Was it 2 weeks ago? They all run together.
I don't know.
So,
Poison in the Well. Yeah.
So let's talk about.
There's a good point that you usually have more fun with more friends with sex toys than you do magic tricks.
It's true. I like this guy. I think he should come around more often. This is it's like he fits right in.
Yeah. Right.
So talk us through about what you do with Think Like a Mind Reader. What is that about? What are you teaching to the folks?
All right. So, about 10 years, I traveled the country doing college shows So college kids are a perfect demographic for what I do. They're still excited to be alive. That's a good point. And they're excited to be away from home. So they're still enthusiastic. The light hasn't gone out in their eyes yet, right? So doing college shows is great. I love it. So I show up and I do my 70-minute theater, my interactive comedy improv mind reading show. Right? Because I don't know what people are going to be thinking about. The framework is essentially the same, but how people respond, what they think, what they say, it's all a crapshoot. So I've got to figure out how to handle it and how to ride with it. So it's a lot of fun. Keeps me on my toes. So I've been doing that about 10 years. Well, then college kids don't know I'm not a rock star. So then to them, I am one. So if you behave like a rock star, you are. Right. So you do the show and then you're like, after the show, I'll be outside signing autographs. See you later. And then you go outside and now there's a 45-minute line of people to sign autographs, right? Here, would you sign my poster? Yeah, sure. So
do you sign boobs?
Funny you should ask.
I would make that mandatory.
Because I like working clean in the college market so that I can work more colleges. I like working clean in the corporate market so I can work more companies. Theater shows are where you could actually do whatever you want to do as long as you tell people what it is they're getting into. So those are I do the few and far between, but I just kind of slip it in. Huh?
Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
What?
Just kind of slip it in.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Just slide it in. Well, I was going to say in my corporate and college gigs, I just slide this in as a joke. But in the theater world, for some reason, it lands as an invitation more than anywhere else because I'll do something and write it down on a like an art pad and then tear off the paper and show that I got it right. And they're like, wow, neat. So then I hand it to the person and go, I'll sign that after the show or body parts, just ask. And that's the single throwaway line, right? That's just the single joke. And in colleges, everybody's like, oh, that's so funny. Companies, oh, that's so funny. Theater shows, well, I just did a theatrical seance, which is the correct seance. The hold hands around a table, that's the Hollywood play at home version. Real seances were theater events because so many people wanted to see them that they would fill 1,500 seat amphitheaters. They just sold out occasions. So they were basically like a giant magic show with some hymns. So think of a megachurch with a magic show, had a baby, that's a seance. So I was doing historically accurate seances, and my sweetie Ashley was like, hey, how did it go? I was like, I signed 3 boobs. So it was a 3 boob signing seance, which was kind of fun. So yeah, so that answers that question. Yeah. So yeah, that's fun. Anyway,
well,
so doing college.
Let me stop right there. Let me stop right there because I have something that kind of ties in with that. This was going to be a question that I was going to ask later, but since we're into that whole area, do you do magic in the bedroom to impress a date? And if so, what magic trick do you do?
No,
ask people
because
in the bedroom
because it doesn't impress anybody. So it's like,
what?
Oh,
really?
Listen, most magic tricks are so stupidly simple and dumb that magicians are guarding empty safes, right? Like that's it. The secret to magic is that it's really simple. All we're doing is messing with your head. Like that's it for the most part.
I feel like you could have a lot of fun with this though, Jonathan.
I know, right?
I'm saying
I need my wand.
Right, but that's the thing. A magic trick isn't going to do it. But understanding human psychology and understanding why magic works in the first place, now that is infinitely leverageable. That's the cool part, right?
Okay.
So the magic trick itself doesn't do anything. The psychology process it's predicated on, that'll get you anywhere you want to go.
Okay.
Right? See, like in the bedroom, you like have a built-in wand, like, right?
Yeah, and if you want to scare them though, you could be like, "Oh, I just made the condom disappear."
Ta-da!
No, don't do that.
Okay, no, I don't feel like getting sued.
Cadabra.
Okay, yeah, just kidding.
Here's your lawsuit.
So yeah,
fuck.
So as a mentalist, you kind of alluded to this a little bit earlier. You're not doing the kind of grand scale magic tricks like the making a tiger appear, those kind of things. Your focus is more on getting inside their head a little bit. So what does that entail? Like, what kind of areas do you go in, and what do generally people freak out about the most?
Well, this actually ties into the like a mind reader question that you're asking about. So the same answer will get us to both questions or both. Anyway, the autograph line, people going, holy shit, you're living the dream. You're traveling the world. You're getting to do what you want to do, all that stuff. And to me, it's just how I grew up. It's what I've dedicated my life to do. And it's just how I think naturally. But I understand that my experience is so far outside the standard social narrative that I am like a Martian to most people. They're just like, no, it's easy for you because of whatever excuse they have in their head, right? So I just started realizing, holy shit, how I think about things is valuable specifically because I don't think like other people. So I started talking to college kids after the shows, and because they would be like, boy, I can't even imagine doing what you do for a living, meaning not having a 9-to-5 job or anything like that. So I was like, here's how I went about doing it. Here's how I think about things. Here's how I network. Here's how I make opportunities happen. So those were my unknowing first coaching clients. I didn't know that was a thing that I was really excited to do, or that there was a word for it. But then, like a year or two later, I started getting emails back from people. Hey, thank you so much for taking that time to talk to me. It made all the difference in the world. Here's what I'm doing now. Here's why it's so much better. And I was like, shit, now I have to teach people and share this with the world. And over the years, the same like 20 topics keep coming up. So the details change, the people change, the question changes, but the principle stays the same. Self-confidence, imagination, creativity, networking, self-confidence, like all those kinds of things just came up all the time over and over and over. So I shoved them all into a book. So then that way I would have legitimacy as a person to talk about it. Because the moment that broke it for me was, all right, understanding how to craft an experience for a room of 20 or 2,000 people to create really convincing demonstrations that I can read minds, predict the future, influence their behavior, all these things. It's all based on understanding human psychology inside and out, and understanding why people do what they do, why they think the way that they think, and how they navigate reality. Once you really understand that system, you can now get that system to do what you want it to do. And that is fundamental human motivational psychology. So once you crack that nut, now you can figure out, how does this apply to relationships? How does this apply to dating? How does this apply to business, marketing, sales, social media, like across the board? Anytime that there's a person involved, you're talking about psychology. And who knows psychology better than a person that can get people, very rational, reasonable people, to believe ridiculous things like, I can read your mind. All right, so that's really what's at the heart of all of it.
And it doesn't hurt that you started with James Randi either. I mean, that's a hell of a resume booster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was great because he came to my college I was studying art. Like, I have a degree in painting. Like, that's my educational background. I knew when I was a kid I wanted to go to. Yeah, fine art, man. Fine art degrees. Like, that's one of the reasons college was invented.
That's awesome.
They'll just give degrees to anybody.
Because painting is one of those things, like, you no matter what, you can't mess it up. Like, you cannot have a wrong.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
The more wrong it is, the more right it is. Like, the more it looks like.
No, that's some.
It's art.
That's some postmodern nothing means anything bullshit. Like, listen, if you're an artist, you better have something to say. And if you can't communicate that